Hello, this is Patrick White from Commodities and Investments of Spencer, Iowa, with your Tuesday, October 8th market recap here. It's a little bit after 5 o'clock, and you can't see it here, but today we had corn up 8 3/4 cents at 3.95 3/4. Pretty strong day for the markets. We had soybeans up 5 1/4 at 9.20 1/2, and we had December Chicago wheat up 11 cents to close at just over $5, $5.25. Going to go ahead and get it started off with a disclaimer here. Just remember that everything I'm talking about is just my opinion, and that there's no direct trade recommendations. If you'd like to read the full disclaimer, please pause the video now. Anyway, so as I was saying here, we had a pretty strong day in the markets, and the big driver, obviously, when we're talking about corn here and soybeans, is there's a snowstorm forecasted here for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this week. In temperatures for basically most of the majority of the northwestern corn belt, a line going down all the way through like central Iowa and part of Illinois and most of Wisconsin is supposed to freeze. Friday night around Spencer, there's supposed to be pretty hard freeze there. So, with that being said, obviously, also, there's a snowfall forecast. They're supposed to get 6 to 12 inches in eastern South Dakota and eastern North Dakota and parts of Minnesota. And those three states altogether, they have 2.6 billion bushels of corn, and it's estimated between 35 to 40% of that corn is mature or is black layered. And that's as of the last crop progress report here on the 6th. So, and also, down in South America, Argentina and Brazil are still dry. Although they're getting a little bit of showers in Brazil here this week. So we'll see. Obviously here we saw on Tuesday, we saw a pretty good sized reaction to this news, of the snowstorm and stuff like that. And I think just the later planted corn is going to suffer more than the earlier planted stuff. I was talking to a guy from Worthington today, and he said that he's looking around trying to find a field that's black layered so he can go before this thing. So it's going to be a mess if there's a lot of snow out in the field. So that's why we had such a strong day here in the markets. We had corn up 8 3/4 cents here. We finally punched through our technical level of 3.92 3/4, and now the market's really targeting this $4 to $4.05 area. And also, technically, if you measure this move from this peak down to here, it measures to about 4.01 3/4, something like that, and that's the 200 period moving average as well. So I think this $4, basically between $4 and $4.05, there's going to be a lot of sellers up there. There's psychological resistance as well as a 200-day moving average, as well as 405, which if you look back was this kind of area this last fall that we struggled with, basically from October until March. So, with that being said, we had a nice day in corn. I think we're going to see some resistance up in this $4 zone. We're probably going to have our sell-offs go back down to the 386 to 390 level. I don't think we're going to really sell off too hard here before the WASD, and you'll see what they want to do there. I guess on soybeans, today we had a pretty decently strong day. We tested lower here, early in the morning. There were some reports of talks weren't going so well between the U.S. and China, but obviously the shorts got in there and they covered. And we ran up to this 920 region. We were able to get a close above it at 920 1/2. But obviously we weren't able to close near the high. With that being said, though, I think we probably will break this 920 region and go up and test this 932 area if we can get that done. If we don't, we're probably headed back down to this 910 region, and that's an area obviously that we've supported at 4 different times here. So 910 is looking like a good area of support. And that also follows the 200 period moving average as well. It's at 910 and a half here. So. In addition, I guess, just along with the trade talks, kind of the news I've been hearing is that, they're not going as well with, as the U.S. would hope with the lower level trade talks. Also China coming into this thing, they announced that they're not going to fight over the big issues, and that they were going to offer up a partial trade deal on the stuff that both sides agree on. But I don't, obviously, like the White House reiterated today that they want a full deal. So, we'll see where that goes, but it doesn't look like it's going to really amount to a whole lot at this time, but definitely that could change. Higher level talks on Thursday or start on Thursday. So on the wheat market here, obviously, we still got the concerns over the Minneapolis spring wheat crop, and also Egypt was in for a tender. So I think that's the world demand has picked up here a little bit, and that's why I think we saw the Chicago wheat market go up and test and break above that $5 mark. We did get a close above $5, and we closed it at $5.25 today. So with that being said, I think we're probably going to see some sellers up here at the 510, 511 region. And I think sell-offs are probably going to be held down at the 493 area. I don't think we can really sell off too hard. Again, though we do have the WASD report coming up on Thursday, and that could definitely change things. But it was good to see the wheat market kind of turn around here. It was looking pretty tough here in recent days. With that being said as well, here's the Minneapolis chart. We went down and we broke below that 530 region, quickly regained that. Now we're seeing some technical resistance up here at 545. And if we do break above there, we're probably headed up back to this 555 old high. If we break down, we're probably going to mess around down there by that 525, 530 region again. So going into the cotton market here, just to start the week, we've had some selling off, and I think that's just basically on the on the fact that the China talks aren't going as well as people thought. And so basically we haven't been able to get above this 62, 66 region. That's where we've seen a lot of selling pressure. That being said, though, too, we haven't been able to sell off down to the 61 area. And we've held the $60 mark as well. And that's the $60 mark is where we broke out from. That's where we've supported from. And that is definitely a pretty important area. If you're long in the cotton market, you do not want to see it close below the $60 mark. It's kind of like $4 in corn. It's also a psychological level as well. So, that's the cotton market is basically just in a range between 62, 66, and $60 at this time. Going into December live cattle here, we've seen a nice push up here in recent weeks. I'd like for the market to get up and test the 111.90 area. That's what I've been talking about as my first resistance area on the radio. I'd really like to see them go up on up to 112.98 or 113 area. I think that would be a good target for December live cattle here for the near term. Obviously, the market hasn't really been able to sell off too bad. We went down and we tested the 110.62 area today, and we came off that, but not a whole lot of news, just really kind of lower, it's just kind of slower market action here towards the highs. Beef prices haven't been doing well recently, so we'll see if if futures can stay in, beef prices being lower. But if we do see a sell-off, we'll probably hit down at this 109.50 area, and find some buyers there. And if we break that, we'll probably go back down to this 107.82 region. So. But yeah, I think a good upside target would be that 113 region as well. If we break that, we're probably headed up to 114.5, and there's also the 200 period moving average there as well. All right, and going into the hog market here, this has been a really volatile trade, and obviously it's dependent a lot on China trade talks. Obviously yesterday we went in limit down, we had extended limits today, we got everything back and then some. So you went down, gap down. Tested lower, could not get it done, and we went right back up above this $66 mark. So, obviously that looked really bad yesterday technically, but we were able to regain this range. So I think we're going to see some support in here at 66, and I think we're probably going to see some resistance at this 71 area. And really what I'm looking at as far as resistance goes is this downtrending line that we've had basically since April. So I think we're probably going to go back up and test this area, 71 to 71.50, call it. And we'll see if we can break above that. If we can, I'd like to see us challenge this $74 area. If we do sell off, we're probably going to just be back inside this range between $66 and $60 or so. So that's all I got. I kept it short here. I'll probably do another one after the WASD here on Thursday. But enjoy the day here. I hope you guys are getting a lot done as far as harvest goes. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call at 712-262-7606, or you can visit us online at aa-commodities.com. Thanks. Bye.